In this video help, I'm going to be covering the sales report by store, but I want to give you a little information about these two reports. The sales report by store is normally used when you're looking at individual stores or groups of stores based on the invoices for that store for a period of time. This also may include where you can do a find on the individual person that made the purchase. The sales report by product is just that. It's similar to the sales report by store, only you're looking at specific products and how they're grouped so you can see how the sales are going for individual products that you may want to search for using a find. Let's go ahead and go into the sales report by store. In this report, you'll note that the store ID is at the top level of the report and the location of that store, the date of the transaction for the invoice, then the invoice information for each invoice for that store. Now, obviously, I only have some sample ones in here, and there's only a couple. But if you were looking at it, you would see that store 1 is broken out and the invoices for that store. Store 2 would be next, and so forth through the series. If you're going to make a find, you will normally look at the date in the actual invoice transaction information. You would use the search for that date using a find, and creating the find, you would go to that date period, click a second time, and say, for example, I would use the greater than and equal as the first part of the formula. Then I'd put in the date, and on the other side of the date, I would put in the less than or equal, and then the date after that for the closing. So this would be the beginning date, and this would be the closing date after that part of the formula. Now, what I'm going to do also is show that you have drop downs for this. You could pick the store, and in this case, you could pick the customer if that were relevant. So there would be a whole list of all the customers. Also within this, if you have a balance due on the particular item, there would be a balance due showing after the search was done. I'm going to show you a little piece of technical information. If you make an incorrect lookup or blank, you can say perform the find. It'll come up with this dialog saying that you have the wrong information. You can just go ahead and cancel and get out of it, or modify it and go back and be able to change whatever you have in there to correct the find. In this case, I'm just going to cancel it, and you'll see that all the records have come back. Now on the sub-summary, which is the daily summary for each invoice of all the different records within this group, it's going to give you a summary of the invoices for that particular store for that particular time that you have made the lookup for. If it's a date, it would be the same thing if you looked up for a customer and you had that information, individual information in there. If you do that, you'll also have the trailing summary for the entire report after that. For example, the report summary in this case shows you the sales tax, the sum of the invoices, sum paid, and the balance due. In this case, there's a $4 balance due on this particular one, and how I can tell that is that on the iPad and on the desktop application, it will highlight this in red. Now on the browser, if you're using the browser to access the server on the cloud, that particular color system does not get supported, so you will not see this in there, but you will see on the summary of the numbers that there is actually a sum of the balance due. Okay, if you have any questions about using the summary and the payment, you can contact me if you need more information about that. Let's take some of the more interesting things that are going on here. For example, there is the ability to omit a particular record for any reason if you want to omit it. Say, for example, you have a series of 10 invoices that you want to look at, but they have the one for this particular customer, and they have the balance due on those. What you could do is look for the ones that have the balance due on them, and then go ahead and omit those records to start with. If you omit the record, you'll see it'll be gone from the screen. If you did one or more of these and you wanted to create a statement, once you have all the items for that store for that particular client, you can click Show Omitted, and what it's going to do is it's only going to show the omitted records at that point, the ones you omitted. So you would get the summary based on that. In this case, this is not a very good example in that there was no tax. There was a single invoice for $30, but it was not paid yet. So it's showing as a sum of the whole amount that is due. If you have any questions about using this, you can always contact us for more detail. There is also another one which will hide and show the header and bottom of the screen bar. This is in case you're on the iPad and you want to do a screenshot, but you don't want to show the bars at the top and bottom. You can do a screenshot of the actual invoice information for a statement. Now, if you're using FM Go, you can take FM Go and it will only print the area that you see here, and it will omit all this on this side. Once you're on the browser and you're using the browser to work on the cloud, remember now that you have to commit the record or revert it. If you're looking at this screen and you notice that the header is gone, click the Run Report button to bring up the guided information for the store at the top. Even though it's in this line, this is formally the way it should be put in, especially if you have a number of records after the store information at the top of the screen. Once again, if you have any questions or information you need, go ahead and contact us by clicking on the support site and go to the support site to get information about this particular product. Thank you.